It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Wednesday, February the 18th. Fletcher is out today. Not to worry, my buddy Stephen Hyden is joining us. Good morning, sir.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, thank you for being with us. Ryder!
Obviously, he was on a mission for chaos.
That's what we're doing this morning.
That's it.
Mission for chaos.
It's a mission for chaos, baby. I'm feeling Minnesota, Riders, so let's just dive right in. Give me some headlines, please.
All right. The 2026 Minnesota legislative session officially began yesterday with State Senator John Hoffman returning to the Capitol for the first time since he was shot in a politically motivated attack last June. Following the adjournment of both houses, Governor Walz, House Speaker Lisa Damuth, and other lawmakers gathered to honor State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, who were killed during the same attack last summer. The legislative session runs through mid-May. Civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson died Monday at the age of 84. Jackson marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights movement, organized for social justice through voter engagement and representation, and ran for the Democratic nomination for president twice in the 1980s. Jackson's family says he passed away peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by loved ones. I did a deep dive on the All the Monsters series and was watching the Jeffrey Dahmer one and was so surprised to see Jesse Jackson in that movie coming to fight for people's rights and stuff like that with the whole Dahmer deal. I think he was more prevalent than I realized. Both Stevens in the room, I know, have an itch to hear this.
According to the Latter-day Saint Seuss, you do not like green eggs and ham? I do not like them. Sam, I am. I could not, would not on a boat. I will not with a goat.
Be none other than Jesse Jackson himself on SNL doing green eggs and ham.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've read that to my kids and done it in the Jesse Jackson cadence.
Sure.
Once you hear that once, you just want to, because he's one of the great speakers of all time, certainly in the modern age. And I could not in a boat. You know, you just want to do it that way.
Yeah. No.
So eloquent.
Yeah. We'll stick that up on socials later so you can dig into the whole thing. The big music announcement yesterday is that Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band will kick off the Land of Hopes and Dreams tour March 31st at Target Center. Tickets on sale Friday at noon for the 20-day tour, which wraps up in Washington, D.C. at the end of May.
Boy, Bruce putting his shoulder to the wheel on this one.
Man, I looked at the routing. It doesn't make any freaking sense. And I know this is like an inside baseball thing, but it's here, then Portland, then he's playing shows in New York, then Brooklyn, and then back to New York.
Well, there's one thing Bruce is not really too caught up with, and that's logistics.
It feels like it came together pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, very
There
quick.
are very few artists who throw together a 20-date arena tour in a matter of weeks, and he clearly just did. I ran into Abe Laboriel Jr., who's been Paul McCartney's drummer for 25 years almost.
Okay.
Probably 10 years ago at a big thing called NAMM out in L.A., big music convention, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we were just chatting, and he said, oh, yeah. He goes, well, it was January. He goes, yeah, we were supposed to have like the year off, and I just got an email today that we got to go play some stadiums in South America next month. And I go, next month? He goes, yeah, they just announced him. It's like McCartney, there's only a handful of guys that are like, I think I'd like to go to Buenos Aires. Okay, book it next week. And it's just there. Yeah. Springsteen, 20 dates in arenas. Yeah, give him a month. He's fine.
Kicking off in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
It's like going to the corner bar for Bruce.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Garden, whatever.
Okay, we can start in Minnesota, next gig in Oregon, and he's just like, yeah.
Whatever.
What, right? Okay.
Private plane, no problem.
Not a worry.
The Twins will offer cheap beer and free ice cream to get fans to Target Field after finishing 18 games out of first place last season, the division last season. We're talking $2 pregame beers for all fans on Fridays and Saturday nights, plus free ice cream for kids on Sundays.
Wait, is this for the month of April, or is this all season?
No, this looks like all season.
$2 pregame beers.
Yeah, and if you're
God, you don't even have to stay for the
Saturdays,
baseball. Go get hammered and leave. That's great.
It is a really good deal.
Wow.
After increasing controversy, the Eagan City Council passed a 1-year ban on the development of data centers. These are like these big AI data center and
way to go, Eagan.
Yes.
cryptocurrency operations, so it can further study their impacts. This ban is the first in the state of Minnesota. No building permits will be issued for construction, alteration, or expansion of any data center structure within 500 feet of a residential zone or that uses more than 20 megawatts of electricity. I was digging into, there was an article on a different data center. Somebody who worked at kind of like a regular one that we've had for decades said they use about 10 megawatts of power.
Yep.
These hyper data centers, it's like over 700.
Oh, yeah. As a
These are
former
nuts.
Tennessee resident, I can assure you it's the worst possible thing your community could welcome.
Are they all over the place in Tennessee?
There's the first one in Memphis is just, it's crushing. They make so much, they don't talk about it. The noise, the amount of water that they use, the water they contaminate, it's just so bad for everything other than the people who own it making money. And it's just so for AI data. Who cares? It doesn't do any good for any of us.
Did it feel like it created any like a significant amount of jobs? 'Cause
Not at
that's
all.
Generally, what people who are pro data centers say.
It's nonsense. Yeah, it creates jobs, and everybody that lives anywhere near it is miserable. It's really poor for the quality of life. Egan, you made a good choice. Don't welcome that crap.
Yeah, there's a handful of towns that this is like on the table.
Yeah.
I don't think Egan's going to be the last ban.
I hope. Trust me, no one's happy after those things go up.
No, it's like you want a prison in your backyard before you want a data center.
Seriously,
I think at this point.
yeah.
Okay. YouTube suffered a global outage yesterday around 7 o'clock local time. The company posted the outage was caused by an issue with the recommendations algorithm system preventing videos from appearing across all surfaces. So it's not just you.
Okay.
YouTube was out for everybody. And you mock my antenna, but this is when it's useful. Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea will release his debut solo album next month, and he's going back to his brass roots. The album will feature some bass, but a lot of his first ever instrument, trumpet.
Now, I'm no trumpet expert.
This
but
seems so opposite of
sounds
Flea.
pretty good to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, is Anthony Kiedis going to scat over that? I mean, I'm waiting for that. Some, like, filthy Kiedis scat.
Yeah. Go for it, man. Flea's exactly who he is. I mean, it's that all the Flea-ness, none of it's a put on. He's just literally that dude.
Amazing musician.
Tremendous musician.
I was just expecting a little more speed. This seems very mellow. Of course,
I'm
that's just
appreciative
one
of that. I like slow down Flea.
I've heard some other tracks from it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty good. Like, the things I've heard, he did a song with Tom York on this record. That sounded pretty good.
Maybe for a trumpet, he should call himself Fly. It's not quite so frantic.
Okay. And they really need to up the ingredients if they're going to make this work. Papa John's Pizza will make a run at a Michelin star. They launched a new recipe featuring a 6-cheese blend and garlic parmesan crust. I think going after that Kevin McAllister group and transforming their Manhattan restaurant into an intimate reservations-only spot with a 3-course menu that starts tomorrow. Have either of you eaten at a Michelin star restaurant?
If I have, I didn't know or I forgot.
Okay.
I mean, I've had nice meals at places. I've had food where I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten, but I don't remember it ever being a Michelin star restaurant. I've had Papa John's, however, and I've never had the thought of Papa John's and Michelin star in the same sentence. But then again, I don't have that with any food I eat.
No.
So
Well,
that's a bit of a that's a reach, man. Aim high, Papa John's.
It's the Michelin star of food to eat when you're drunk.
There it is. There it is.
I do
It
like
works.
that garlic butter.
Yeah,
they
that
give you with
garlic butter.
pizza.
That's
Oh
the
my God.
difference.
That's-
You got to have a hook, and they got a good one.
And it's good for you, too. That's the
right.
great thing about that garlic butter.
And if I'm
Very
not
healthy.
mistaken, Papa John's, it did originally come from Kentucky, so I have a soft spot.
Oh.
Louisville.
Oh.
Come on now.
And in news you're going to love, there's my tennis joke for the day. Players headed to the Mexican Open starting Monday in Acapulco will not be served any meat at the players' restaurant to make sure there's no doping contamination. The World Doping Agency warns certain anabolic steroids used in Mexico and Colombia to fatten cattle are banned in the sport.
Oh, for God's
I'm just
sakes.
freaked out about cows on steroids.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you always hear the people say like these world class athletes who their livelihood is literally their body and what they eat.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was that ice cream cone. I don't know where it came from. But at least now they're like, no, stay away from the steak.
Yeah.
Let's talk sports. The Olympics rolling on today. Already this morning, not a Minnesotan, but of note, Michaela Schifrin, who is the winningest alpine skier ever. She's the only one with 100 wins in her career already. At 30 years old, she had her first run of the women's slalom today, and apparently has already clinched gold. I mean, short of a catastrophic second run, no one's catching her. She's just the best that's ever been and continues to roll along. A lot of Minnesotans in action today. Paula Moltzon, the women's slalom, she had a run already and did not put her best effort out. In fact, there's no chance she's going to medal. That's a rough finish for her. Cross-country skiing, Jessie Diggins, I believe she's rolling along right now. I'll give you the update when I get it. Her final event of her career. She said this will be the last thing. Women's curling. This morning, Team Peterson lost to Great Britain. A big lead, and they lost it. I mean, and apparently, and I can't find the video because NBC doesn't like me. Apparently, there was a miracle shot at the very last throw from Great Britain to win 8-7. One of those like completely wind out of the sails. Now, the U.S. is not eliminated, but they have to beat Switzerland on Thursday in the round robin finale to get into the medal round. We shall see what happens. Men's hockey, the U.S. men versus Sweden today in the quarterfinal at 2:10. Speaking of your Minnesota Twins, good thing they're going to have cheap beer because Pablo Lopez is out for the season.
Ooh.
The man who has started opening day for the last 3 years, he'll be having his second Tommy John surgery, the first one from about 12 years ago. He's held in pretty well with that first one, but nope. Felt a little elbow pain. Hey, something's not right. Yeah, it's called a significant tear in a ligament. Ooh, that's bad news.
Yeah.
The Wolves are back in business Friday night at Dallas for the Minnesota Wild. We still have to wait a week from tomorrow in Colorado. Boy, get that 3-week break and then go out to play the best team in the league when you reconvene. Good way to start it off, I guess. Looking back on sports, on this day in 1978 in Waikiki Beach, Hawaii, for the first time ever, a little something called an Ironman triathlon went down.
Oh, damn.
Navy Commander John Collins created and named the event. In case you've forgotten, that's a 2.4 mile ocean swim, 112 miles on a bicycle, followed by a full 26.2 mile marathon. Only 15 people started. 12 of them finished, and the winner was a cab driver from Honolulu named Gordon Haller. 11 hours, 46 minutes.
Wow.
The first ever.
boy.
That was 1978. 11 hours, 46 minutes. And if you, like me, go, well, what's the world record now? A gentleman named Christian Blumenfeld in 2021, 7 hours, 21 minutes, 12 seconds. That is insane to me.
Well,
I mean, he shaved off 4.5 hours since the first one in
Yeah.
1978. Mind-boggling. Hey, Rosemount, glad to have you with us this morning.
Giddy up, Rosemount.
Good place to be. An even better place to be from. I think that's what it says on all the billboards. Maybe I'm just making that up.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Wednesday morning. Fletcher's out for the day. Stephen Hyden, a good buddy of mine, good buddy of the show, is sitting in. Stephen, you are a writer of some note, a music writer, an aficionado of many of the things that we love to talk about and discuss and argue about. A writer of many a fine book, including one about a band called the Black Crowes, which I appreciated. Stephen and I wrote a book together years ago called Hard to Handle, the Life and Death of the Black Crowes. But more recently...
That was with you?
That was me.
I know his name was Steve.
Same
I couldn't
guy.
remember his last
That's
name.
me. That was me.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
And but what's okay? So you've been writing music since you were like a kid, right? I mean, you're a kid in Wisconsin.
Yes.
You get the bug early.
Yes.
First, what age does it occur to you? Like, by God, I'm going to write about this stuff. I love it so much.
Well, the first reviews I ever wrote was when I was 14, junior high paper, Automatic for the People, REM.
That was the first one.
And
Very cool.
Dirt by Alice in Chains.
Oh my God, what a
I like
twofer!
these.
I know.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I was pushing 30 when Dirt came out, and that record scared me.
Yeah, it's a toe tapper.
It's as heavy as it gets.
Yeah, it's you don't want to listen to that with any like sharp objects in the room.
No. A 14-year-old kid in Wisconsin rocking out to Alice in Chains? Wow.
Well, I've been, never took heroin, so I'll credit that record for that.
Yeah, that's true. It did its job.
Not a good commercial for heroin. Dirt. You're going to avoid the junk after listening to that record.
Man, good point there.
Yeah, I love that PSA.
Wow. That's true. Hey, parents, if you're worried about your kids maybe having a proclivity, play Alice in Chains.
It really is. People worry about rock records encouraging kids to take drugs. That is a solid anti-drug record for sure.
It's funny. I mean, as a kid of my, I'm a little older than you, but as a kid in the 70s listening to records, I was really getting into the Beatles and the later Beatles when I was 8, 9, and 10, very aware of the fact that it was weird music and that I knew they were doing drugs. People told me. Mm-hmm. But it never occurred to me I should do drugs. And I always thought like that's weird because I had friends who were like already just pushing the envelope at all times. And it took me a while to figure it out. When you're the youngest of a big family and you've watched your older siblings get arrested and beaten down and watched all the stuff they get into, I was just kind of like, I think I'm just going to hold back on a lot of these things. I was listening to more drug music than any of them, but also I was like, I don't want to get arrested. You watch your older brother get busted once while high on LSD. That's going to scare you right off the drugs.
Oh, yeah.
For a minute anyway.
It's like the opening of Saving Private Ryan, like they're at the front of the Normandy
That's exactly
Beach.
right.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna duck here. There's bullets flying.
I'm in the second wave, guys. You tell me how it goes, and then I'm going to get on that next round of planes.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
We have got a major concert announcement that hit the streets yesterday. The Boss coming to town, and my buddy Stephen Hyden just happens to have written a fantastic book about Bruce Springsteen and about the album Born in the USA and the cultural ramifications therein. We'll discuss more about that in about 5 minutes and 2 songs.
It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
Zimmerman right there, Minnesota native, will be playing in Rochester, next month, Stephen Hyden?
Yeah, March 24th.
Stephen Hyden is in with us today, and you're going to make the trek down. You're going to go see Bob Dylan for the how many times have you seen this man live?
Oh man, somewhere between like 20 and 25.
Oh.
Okay,
I'm
I'm up in the teens, I would imagine by this point, and I've seen him a couple times on this tour that is now going on for 5 or 6 years, the Rough and Rowdy Ways tour.
Yes.
And honestly, I saw him. He was, you know what? Farm Aid last year, thought he was great.
Oh, my God.
Truly great.
Beautiful.
Just walked out and blew the place apart.
Beautiful night, beautiful show.
Yep, it was. And then I saw him right before I moved to Minnesota, so it's 3 years ago, 2022. I saw him in Birmingham, Alabama, and that's my favorite Dylan show I've ever seen. He was so engaged.
Okay.
So fired up, and so it's just so weird. But I'll still say you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And he's going to be 85 in May.
It's
unbelievable.
And still just rolling along. I mean, at some point, and that point was a long time ago, I think Dylan just went, I'm just going to continue to do this, and that's all there is to it. You don't have to ask me why. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to go play shows and shows and shows and shows, and that's it. It's real simple.
And he's playing small towns. I mean, he's not going to just New York City, San Francisco.
Not
he's
at all.
Like normal, Illinois or wherever,
Yeah.
If you have a town, Bob Dylan's probably played there in the last, 40, 50 years.
That's very true.
Yeah.
A gentleman who does tend to go to the bigger places, Bruce Springsteen, announced yesterday. We announced yesterday he'll be here March 31st coming in. And you know a little bit about the Boss, in fact, which is my way of saying you know a lot about him. But your book, There Was Really Nothing You Could Do. Did I get that right?
There was nothing you could do.
I don't know why I put really
in there.
It's a line
from my hometown.
Right. There was nothing you could do. Stephen Hyden is in with us, and his book about Bruce Springsteen, specifically about the Born in the USA album and the cultural impact at the time and since. And it's first things first, for those of us who still read, and I don't nearly as much as I used to and wish I could, it is a tremendous book. I'm not saying that because we're friends. Yes. I love the book about a subject I truly am not, Bruce is cool. I mean, I'm not like a card-carrying Bruce guy, and I absolutely love the book. It's fantastic. But Born in the USA is for a million reasons, it's such a watershed moment, like in pop culture, what that record did to Bruce, but also the fact that song has been so misinterpreted and so misunderstood, and it still gets utilized in weird places. If you could possibly summarize what made you what was in your mind when you thought I got to write about this, like without getting too long-winded, because the book is there for people to read.
Yes.
Like, where did that come from? What was the idea, and what were you hoping to get across, I guess, is a kind of a vague question.
Well, I mean, there's the personal element of it, where that was one of the first rock records I ever remember hearing when I was 6 years old. And, changed my life in that regard. There's also just the way you can talk about Bruce, and it's a way to talk about America, how America's changed. How, he had the Born in the USA tour, millions of people go to see it. It's this touchstone monocultural event, and now we're 40 years later. Do we have a monocultural event like that? Do we have something where everyone can come together, no matter where you stand on the political divide? Feels like that's harder to come by these days. And there's just so many parallels between then and now. I mean, Bruce is about to start a tour here in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
The Born in the USA tour started in St. Paul in 1984. So,
I forgot about that. That's right. Yeah.
So that's where they shot the video for Dancing in the Dark.
That's right.
Courtney Cox was in the house.
Yeah.
Brian De Palma, the great film director, shot that video. So it's a way to talk about Bruce. It's also a way to just talk about so many other things, how rock and roll has changed since the mid-'80s, how rock and roll could be pop music in the mid-'80s, and how, a guy in a bandana and a guitar, that's not really our definition of a pop star.
Very, very true.
But it was in the mid-'80s. So a lot of things you could talk about when you talk about that album.
I often think about when I moved to Atlanta in February of 1987, dropped out of college, moved to Atlanta to buy a drum kit and start a band. And the number one song in America on the top 40 when I got there was Georgia Satellite's Keep Your Hands to Yourself. That was a pop. That was Casey Kasem coming in at number one, the Georgia Satellite. I mean, the most redneckinest rock and roll song of the 80s. And it was number one on the pop
gap
charts.
In his tooth, Yeah. That guy's
the great Dan Baird gap tooth.
He's the pinup.
And that was the number one song in America. That alone just tells you how far we have come in 40 years, or just how far away from that we are. And then here's Bruce all these years later, and he's going to sell at Target Center in 5 seconds. And he's going to but talk about all sides of the political spectrum. He is clearly not the guy that everybody from every corner is coming to see now. He has let everybody know where he stands. But it's going to be a ridiculously big night, I'm sure. Minimum 3 hours. I mean, the E Street Band they don't show up for less than 3 hours.
And I think even with the political stuff, there are still a lot of people that just appreciate a rock show. And if you're going to an arena, the E Street Band, I mean, they are one of the great bands to see in that type of venue. They shrink the size of the building whenever they play.
100%. They're one of the few artists that if an arena feels like a theater or even a club, because they do stadiums just fine, but when they're in an arena, it's odd how it's like, this doesn't seem all that big to me right now. The last time I was on the road with the Black Crowes was 2013, and we played with Bruce a couple times in Europe. Once in the Netherlands. It was just a Bruce gig out in a field, and we were the opening band. We go up, we play like for an hour, good crowd.
Yeah.
And then he comes out, and their set list written ahead of time was 38 songs.
Oh.
and then after about 8 songs in, they started taking requests.
What?
Fans would hold up a sign with a song, and he would just look at it, and he would call it out, and the band would go into it. So it turned out to be like 44 songs.
Oh, damn.
Because at some point, he's like, hey, let's do that one. And I was on the side of the stage going, these guys are... These are not young men.
Yeah.
And they were up there it was 3 hours and 20 minutes or whatever it was. I didn't stay for the end of it. We had to get out of there. But at some point I was like, okay, all the talk, I get it now. I buy it. I believe it. He's the hardest working man in show business.
Yeah, like when I go to a show, I'm just standing in the audience and I'm tired.
Yeah,
and I'm much younger than Bruce.
Yeah.
I'm not on stage playing music, so I don't know how he does it.
March 31st, Target Center. If you've never seen the man, and you know what? Like I say, I'm not a card-carrying boss guy.
Okay.
But the songs I really like. But I've just never been like that thing. But I plan to go to that show, and I plan to be like kind of blown away because he just insists on ringing every last drop out of every performance. I mean, I give him full props for that.
It's definitely like that rock and roll church type feel.
100%.
He's got the preacher persona that he does on stage. And
he certainly does.
And if you look at it from a distance, you can be like, oh, this is kind of corny. But if you're in the room, it's transformative.
It is very true. Now, it's not exactly what you get when you go see Donny Osmond.
Well,
oh no.
Sorry, you're going to have to hang around for that one.
I mean, the Oz man.
Watch out. There's Ozzy and then there's Ozzy. You know what I'm saying? Donny Osmond at a concert in Vegas recently was rocking the good people at Harrah's, and a fan in the audience suffered a pretty significant injury. She was hit by an inflatable beach ball. She's suing Donnie, his production company, and the casino for $15,000.
Wow.
She says she suffered life-altering injuries, hit by an inflatable light-up ball, and suffered a traumatic retinal injury.
Wow.
In her eye, so in her eyeball.
Retinal detachment in her right eye. It required surgical intervention, severe emotional stress, psychological trauma, fear, anxiety, PTSD, and the loss of enjoyment of life. Oh, and concussion-related head and neck injuries. Seriously?
This is the beach ball, yes? Like a normal beach ball?
It's an inflatable. It's called an inflatable light-up ball. I don't. Okay, hit me in the head with a bowling ball. I'm not going to have that much damage.
Yeah, I have to say that when you said 15, I thought you were going to say 15 million, because I feel like these lawsuits are often like exorbitant.
Sure.
15,000.
If
I'm not defending her, but that could be more extreme.
If you're asking for $15,000, you're hoping to get $7,500. Is it really that? It's anything that costs $7,500 is not emotion. It's not lifelong PTSD. That's what I'm saying. If that list of maladies is true, this is a 7-figure, 10-figure, whatever lawsuit. You're right. To your point.
Yeah,
I think she just wants to meet Donny Osmond.
I think she just wants to go to a couple of garbage shows with Shirley Manson where there aren't going to be any beach balls.
That's exactly right. That's it. I don't remember ever leaving a show with my ears ringing or with having been injured, and I never assume it's the performer's fault. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I've walked out of some shows after getting like roughed up in the crowd, elbow here and there, and a beer spilled on me, and maybe this or that, and my ears hurt. I was just like, oh well, rock show.
That's why you're not thinking as a business person here, Steve.
Damn.
You could be making major bank.
I got to get on
Getting
that.
hit in the face with a beach ball, set up for light. Well, not with $15,000. See, again, if I were her lawyer, I'd be like, let's add some zeros.
That's what I'm saying.
This. Make it worth your while.
I mean, come on. I'm shy. At this point, I imagine Donny Osmond is just appreciation the press.
How old is Donny Osmond at this point? Is he in his 70s?
Got to be.
Yeah.
Hell, I just turned 60, so he's got to be 10 years older than me.
Donny,
close to it.
He's probably proud that people are suing him in a twisted way. He's probably feeling like, oh, I am kind of a tough guy because people can't handle my shows.
Well, that's exactly it.
I'm like Pantera for 70-year-old people at Las Vegas.
Man, that's
There's got to be like a twisted pride with that because I feel like he always wanted to have like rocker cred.
I think that's very true.
If you're getting sued by people.
Oh, he's certainly got it now.
Yeah, exactly. He's
When's
like
the Donnie
Rose.
and Marie biopic coming? That's what I'm waiting for. Come on, man. John Hamm and Jessica Chastain. There, I just cast it. Speaking of biopics, let's discuss some biopics. We've got the 4 Beatles movies all coming out concurrently in a couple years. But in the meantime, what are the best ones? My man Stephen Hyden has some thoughts on that, and I'd welcome your thoughts. 651-989-ROCK, the Luther Westside Volkswagen Talk and Text line. What's the best rock biopic? One that you have written about. You had a great article at Uprocks about the greatest music biopics of all time.
Yes.
Ryder, biopic, what comes to mind first for you?
It's the Bohemian Rhapsody one, and I don't even like it. It's only worth it because Mike Myers does that one scene where he plays a record label executive, and he's like,
sure does.
Nobody would ever headbang to the teenagers won't headbang to this as they're driving around their town. And of course, there's the very famous scene in Wayne's World where he
that's right
and Garth Algar are in fact headbanging to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Hey, whatever it takes.
The rest of the movie, it's not worth it.
You weren't excited about the Rami Malek's performance with the fake teeth and everything?
No. It just weirded me out.
I will say that if Bohemian Rhapsody comes on, I will watch it, and I'll make fun of it the entire time, but I'll enjoy it.
Sure.
So I have like a love-hate thing with that movie.
I have a love-hate thing with just about every rock biopic.
Yeah.
You made a point, interestingly enough. Robert Duvall, who passed away a couple days ago, one of the great actors of all time, his one Oscar came for Tender Mercies.
Yes.
Where he portrayed a fictional singer.
Yes.
And you made the point, the best one, you have to do it about a fictional guy. It's the only way they're even beginning to, they can be believable.
Yeah, because I think if you do a biopic, you're always comparing it to the real person, and it's never going to compare. But, like in Tender Mercies, he plays like a Merle Haggard type player,
of guy, right.
Type guy.
Yeah.
And it's very, Inside Llewyn Davis, the Coen Brothers movie, I think has a similar thing where they didn't make a movie about Bob Dylan. They made a guy who is kind of in his orbit.
Yeah.
And it's a better movie because of that, because you're not thinking of Bob Dylan the whole time.
I did like that one.
I gotta say, I liked the Bob Dylan movie.
Chalamet's good in that. I have to say.
Complete Unknown. I went in there with as much of a cynical chip on my shoulder as you could have.
Oh, me too.
And he was good. And the point that I liked about the movie is, just the title says it. You still don't know anything about the guy. You don't know where that comes from. He's just sitting down and let me write this all-time classic. What was the thought process? I don't know. I was thinking about that other girl, but I was living with this one, and I wrote Blowing in the Wind. It's like you can't make sense of that level of genius at times.
And they were pretty candid about him not always being the best guy, especially at that age. Kind of a womanizer,
sure.
Lying a lot. But, he's Bob Dylan. What are you going to do?
They clearly talked to Joan Baez about that, famously for years. He's not going to be here, guys. Like she always said, every time there's like a big protest movement, they're like, we should get Dylan. And she'd go, no, he doesn't care. He's commenting. He's observing. He ain't participating.
I actually thought, and I'm blanking on his name, the guy from The Bear who played Springsteen in the Springsteen movie.
The Bear guy.
Yeah.
Jared Allen White.
There you go.
Jeremy Allen White.
Who looks nothing like Bruce Springsteen. I actually thought he did okay in that movie. The challenge of that movie is, how do we dramatize the making of an album where it's just Bruce in a room playing into a tape recorder?
Yeah.
Not a very dramatic setup.
Not so much.
And that movie I had some problems with, but it was better than I expected. So if that movie's on an airplane or something, I'll watch that movie and I'll probably cry, because I always cry when I watch movies on airplanes.
Of course you do.
It's the altitude.
It's the rule. You have to.
They say, literally, they say the altitude makes you cry. I remember one time I cried at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Sure.
I'm like, what is wrong with me? Am I like having a nervous breakdown on this flight? But, I broke down.
I've told this before. I cried watching Backdraft. A movie about firemen. I wasn't even really aware of what was happening, but at some point someone died, and just cue the fireman's funeral with a bagpiper, and I'm just like, no, I can't believe Billy Baldwin's dead, or one of the Baldwins, or somebody died.
That bagpipe sound, that's like Pavlovian for tears. You can't hold back.
Certainly for if you're Don Gorman's son, they certainly are.
Okay.
But my dad, if you ever needed to soften him up, just hum Amazing Grace as in the sound of a bagpipe, and suddenly it'd be like, okay, we can talk now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something about, I think for men too, like if you're not a man who's emotional, you hear those bagpipes and it's like, it unlocks something in you, and you're just crying over things that happened to you when you were 5. All of a sudden, it's just a catharsis moment.
There's a movie, getting away from biopics, but again, just crying on planes. Yes. There's a movie that Tom Hardy made where the entire movie is him in a car making phone calls. The first scene of the movie, he walks off a construction site. There's a couple other guys. He gets into his car for a 2-hour drive, and the whole movie, it's called Locke, L-O-C-K-E.
I know
the whole movie is him in a car driving from like Birmingham to London or vice versa, and on the phone, and through the phone calls, you get the whole story. That's it. I watched it on a plane, absolutely a couple different times in tears. And it's not even like an emotionally charged. It's a heavy film, but I remember sometime thinking like, I really got to stop watching movies on planes. This is weird.
It's good for you though to cry at a movie. It's a good
on
thing.
A plane.
The plane is the problem. I love cry. I'm holding out for Hamnet. I'm told it's gonna wipe me out.
Well, that's the thing. I was thinking I haven't seen Hamnet yet either. That's a movie where I have to like parcel out a few days.
Sure.
To feel like I have to recover from it.
Yep.
And sometimes you just don't want to go through all that. You have to find a good time in your schedule to work that out.
Yeah, my oldest and most cynical brother saw it and called me or texted me, and he was like, "You seen Hamnet?" I said no, and he goes, "Just take some time. Just get ready."
Yeah.
But you need to see it. It's going to wipe you out. I'm like, "Me specifically?" He goes, "Yes, you specifically." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Manchester by the Sea upsetting?
You know what? Never saw it.
Oh.
I'm afraid of it.
You're afraid of it.
I've been told, like, hey, man, take a couple days. It's going to wipe you out.
Yeah. I took my wife to that movie right after we had our second baby.
Okay.
Not a good movie to see after you've just had a kid.
Okay.
She was very... I didn't know about the twist. I just knew that it was a critically acclaimed movie.
Okay.
And then I remember...
by the way, I still don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, I really don't. I have intentionally avoided I don't know anything about it other than it's really, really, really heavy.
There's a moment in the film where she turned to me and I could see the look in her eyes. Like, what have you done to me?
Yeah.
What have you gotten me into with this? And I was like, I'm sorry. Shouldn't have done this.
Casey Affleck is actually Freddie Mercury. That's what we learned.
Okay, good to know. That's the spoiler alert I didn't know I needed. Back to biopics. The Doors for rock biopic. Talk about a love-hate. The Doors movie is so hilariously awful and awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
It's hard to actually make sense of it. If you've not seen it and you hear what I just said, you're like, dude, what are you talking about? All I can say is it's the worst and best movie together about rock music I've ever seen.
It's perfect for Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
The greatness of it and the over-the-topness of it, where he's a kid and he's meeting the ghost of the Indian chief. And he's like imbuing him with the spirit that's going to carry him forward to be Jim Morrison. It's amazing. It's rock mythos. It's self-parody. It's all coming together, and it's a glorious mess.
There's a scene when the band is working up the arrangement for something, and just when the musicians are talking, hey, let's do it like Coltrane does, and they just throw these things out where they're trying to explain. We'll just sort of play it improvisationally. We'll make it more jazzy, and they say things that nobody ever said. Because those musicians didn't have to say those words, they just did them.
Yeah.
And I get a little inside baseball as a musician, and sometimes I can roll my eyes, but that one specifically, I remember going, this is just someone's idea of what band rehearsal must be like, and it's so far removed from reality.
But Val Kilmer in that movie.
Tremendous.
And there are times when I picture Jim Morrison, and I realize I'm actually picturing Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer in every movie.
Yeah, exactly.
He's great in everything.
Where it's like me, and then like Doc Holliday's getting into it, so I'm like, oh, wait, was Jim Morrison Doc Holliday, or was that Val Kilmer?
But then again, now that we're talking Val Kilmer, one of his great all-time musical performances is, of course, Top Secret.
Oh, my God.
Come on, man. Surfing Skeetin' USA, or whatever that was.
Underrated film.
Ever seen Top Secret, Ryder?
No.
There's your homework assignment.
Understood.
Oh, it's hard to top Secret.
Yeah, and Val Kilmer may be the handsomest man of all time in that film, too. I mean, he's hilarious in the movie, but he's a beautiful man. He's not even handsome. He's beautiful.
So More than the Iceman?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's beautiful there, too. Okay. But, I mean, the mid-'80s Kilmer.
Yeah.
Stephen, for Uprocks, you wrote, as I said, the top biopics of all time, music biopics, and you didn't go top 5. You went top 25.
I did.
But I'm going to go right to the top of your list because this was a surprise until 2 seconds after I first saw it. And I went, oh, yeah, it's a great movie. Amadeus is your number 1.
Exactly. And this is kind of a curveball a little bit because people don't think of it as a biopic. But Mozart, great musician, very famous.
He had a couple of numbers.
And the great thing about that movie is because we don't actually know what Mozart was like. We don't see him on film, so you can't really compare him to anything. Yep. And, of course, F. Murray Abraham as Salieri. I mean, he's really the protagonist of that film.
Yeah.
And it's such a genius thing to have a guy who's jealous of Mozart be the protagonist. Because that's more relatable for us.
Yep.
We can't relate to genius. It's hard to understand someone like a Bob Dylan or a Springsteen. But we are normal people admiring them, and that's what Salieri is in that movie.
It really is incredible. I saw it when it came out and liked it as I was 20 or something. I was like, well, that was really good. I can't believe Pinto grew up. Pinto from Animal House is suddenly Amadeus Mozart. But I saw it again years later when I was far more worldly and had figured out a few things about the human nature. And Salieri, suddenly it's like, oh my God, I fully get this. I missed a lot of this the first time around as a kid.
And you don't have to love classical music to love that movie.
Not at all.
It's very approachable because I don't really know much about classical music, but I knew a lot about jealousy. So I can.
That's it. Either one.
And that's what that movie is about.
There you go. Classical music and jealousy. The story that we all need every now and again.
Resentment, all those top topics.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Thanks again to Stephen Hyden for hanging out. And just like that, BRYAN Miller walks in the studio. Good morning, sir.
How's it going? I just materialized out of thin air.
I love that. I love when a writer leaves and a comedian shows up.
Yes.
It's a good thing. But right now, first things first, Brian, no offense, but we got to give away some tickets to see Bruce Springsteen at the Target Center, March 31st, first date of the tour. We're going to play Twin Cities Civil War. We got East versus West. Let's get to it. Representing the East from Oakdale, Mike. Good morning, Mike.
How you doing, Steve?
All is well on this end, brother. Are you ready? I'm going to just fire a bunch of questions your way if you tell me you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, go.
The music video for Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark was recorded during a concert at a Twin Cities venue named what back at the time?
The Civic Center.
Former Minnesota Wild standout Zach Parise played on the U.S. men's hockey team in the 2014 Olympics in Sochi and 2010 Winter Games in what Canadian city?
Vancouver.
The New York Times recently published an article featuring a popular Instagram account that follows what type of large birds around the campus of the University of Minnesota?
Loons.
Featuring the hit Misery, Wisconsinite Butch Vig produced the 1995 album Let Your Dim Light Shine by what Minnesota band?
Soul Asylum.
Invented in Lake City, Minnesota in 1922, what type of skiing will you not see during the 26 Winter Olympic Games?
Water skiing.
Bruce Springsteen agreed to make a cameo as himself in what movie released in the year 2000 after lead actor John Cusack assured Bruce that the film was a love letter to music?
Pass.
All right.
Okay. You got 4 right there. The one you missed was the New York City Times recently published an article featuring an Instagram account that follows turkeys around campus. And that last one, Bruce Springsteen made a cameo as himself in High Fidelity.
All right. So, Mike, that's 4. You got 4 right. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
All right. Time to go to the west side. We got Maria from Big Lake. Maria, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready to rock a little Twin Cities Civil War?
I'm going to do my best.
Okay, the number to beat is 4, not insurmountable. Ready, set, go.
Even with no official endorsement, sales of what clothing brand reportedly rose 20% after Springsteen's album Born in the USA was released?
I don't know.
The beer refreshing is a slogan for what beverage that originated in the land of sky blue waters?
Ham.
Winning the championship in their league first 2 seasons, what team most recently won the Walter Cup?
I don't know.
A nod to the 9-mile-long system of above-ground indoor walkways between buildings in downtown Minneapolis, what band's album, Pleased to Meet Me, includes the song Skyway?
I don't know.
Starting in 2 harbors, what annual event draws roughly 20,000 runners each June to the North Shore?
Marathon.
What nationally recognized comedian sold out a show at Grand Casino Arena in St. Paul with only 2 weeks' notice this past Monday?
Dave Chappelle.
All right, Ryder, where are we at?
Right. We are at 3 right for Maria. You missed it was Levi's jeans that rose after no endorsement with that famous album cover. The championship team is the Minnesota Frost, and the band with the song Skyway is The Replacements. Still a good effort, though, Maria.
Good effort, Maria. Thanks for calling in. Mike from Oakdale, you got tickets to see The Boss right on. I love a little Twin City Civil War. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Hang on, bud.
All right, Brian Miller's in studio. We're going to hang out with him. We might even fire up a good old-fashioned bargument. What's your Winter Olympic fix? Do you get it every day? Do you care at all? Or is this something you're ever fully engrossed in?
Well, I've been paying attention to the curling a lot because when I headlined Acme last month, the Coreys came to the show.
Oh,
no
really?
And so, and I have a joke about how many condoms the Olympians go through.
Sure.
Each year, I do it every 2 years.
And the answer is all of them.
All of them.
Yes.
And so, it was after the show, the lady Corey validated that, and she said, well, I'm married, but I'm gonna get this guy hooked up. And she said that the Australians are the craziest. She said the Australians go through the condoms in like a day.
Yeah,
that checks out.
It does check out. The Australians do. They. I was gonna say they don't play, but actually all they do is play.
Have you seen the Helmsworth brothers? I think it's hard to turn down an Aussie.
It's pretty true.
Yeah.
For sure. And they've all got those razor sharp teeth like dingoes, mate. That's very true. The Olympics, the Summer Olympics were in Atlanta when I lived there in '96.
Sure.
And the stories around town afterwards were the Olympic Village was like, it was like Studio 54, must have been, minus all the cocaine. It was just like, wow, those young athletes really have a lot of energy after they're done competing.
Well, all these really great-looking, peak of physical shape 23-year-olds, what do you think's going to happen? See, my thing is we should take all the condoms away because these are not the people we could have a new generation of multi-ethnic super people.
That's very true.
We could make the X-Men. We have all the best genetics in the world together.
That's actually a really, really good point.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that no shortage, at least all the men would sign up for that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we're good with this. So the Olympic things are going on. We've talked about the fact Bruce Springsteen's coming to town. Have you ever seen him live?
I never have.
It's an endurance test for the band and the audience.
Yeah.
My man does not cut you down. Doesn't cut in half. He makes sure you got everything you're paying for.
Yeah, I mean it's impressive, but I've it's one of those shows I've been at a couple, where they go past the 3-hour mark of other bands, and you go, oh, this is awesome, but I do have to get to my car at some point.
You always hear the stories of he played for 4 hours, and I saw something last year online where there's actually only been 3 shows where he hit the 4-hour mark.
Oh.
In reality, and there, it was one in 1977, and then one was in 2001, and then one was 2016. Wait, what? But yeah, just on a night in Finland, what the hell? We just throw in 19 extra songs and went for 4 hours. The longest show I've done 3-hour gigs before with a little bit of a break in between. 2 sets of 90 minutes with 10 minutes in between. And that was not in an arena where you're actually trying to make sure the back row is paying attention. That's more we're just jamming and sorry that we're boring you to death. I can't imagine that level of commitment to an arena show where you've got to go. It really is astounding. And I've said this before. It's worth, you got to see it at least once. You're never going to see that much energy, especially from people that old, ever again in your life.
But music, it works that way. Comedy, you hit about an hour and a half, and it doesn't matter how funny the person is. You're done.
Sure.
There is a ticking clock on comedy. Whereas, because I've done about an hour and a half show one time during a snowstorm.
Yeah.
And even I was bored by the end.
Yeah.
Am I still talking?
It doesn't even matter what the material is. It's just there's a limit for how much people want to process.
Yeah, it's like you just run out of laughs.
That's it.
And people start nodding at the end because they're like, yes, I recognize this is funny.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Well, it's good to know that going in. When someone says stretch, you got to know what that actually means.
Brian, when you went and saw the marathon shows, what bands were those? Do you remember?
It was Bella Fleck and the Flecktones with Dave Matthews Band at the Starlight Amphitheater in Nashville.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
So they just jammed forever, basically, because it was 2 jam bands playing together. But it was pushing 3 hours, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
But by the end, I was like, okay, we must go home now.
We're good. We've seen enough. First gig you ever saw?
First gig I ever saw was actually I'm from the South, so I saw John Michael Montgomery. At
John Michael Montgomery.
When he was not famous yet.
Okay.
It was he was playing the state fair, but he was a really small state fair, like the local chapter of a state fair kind of thing. And the first rock band I saw, Bon Jovi and the Black Crowes, I think.
Oh damn!
That was not a combination that ever happened.
Was it? It wasn't. I know the Crowes opened. I don't remember if it was Bon Jovi. It was in the Sykeston, Missouri.
Sykeston, Missouri. What year would you be talking about?
That was 80s, 88.
You're confused, baby. We were never on the road till 90. And
really?
We wouldn't have been opening for anybody like that until 90. And
man.
It could have been Aerosmith or Heart or ZZ Top.
ZZ Top. That's what it was.
Okay.
ZZ Top. My dad,
91.
my dad took me, but we had to leave. We had to leave halfway through ZZ Top because my dad had an early shift.
Yeah.
My dad was a huge ZZ Top guy.
Okay, that makes sense.
But my dad was mad because Chris Robinson said the F word twice.
I bet he did. Only twice?
Yeah.
Wow. You got a good night then.
Yes, ZZ Top. That's right.
ZZ Top was mad too because they fired us from that tour.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they didn't. Their sponsor did.
Oh,
it was all for. It was all good. It was all good fun and games.
Was
Your
it
beard game?
Yeah, conflict over beards.
Yeah. No, it was not over beards. It was over beer. It was there was some insults thrown to the good people at Miller Lite, and they didn't like that.
Oh.
Yeah, these things happen. So let's see. I did suggest a minute ago it'd be a good time for a good old-fashioned bargument.
Sure.
So I'm just going to throw one your way.
Let's do it.
Are you a fan of horror films at all?
Love them.
Okay, you love them. All right, so let's think about the great horror villains of all time. Who do you feel you have the best chances against? Who could you take? of the horror film villains. Who could you beat up? Who could you elude? Who are you not afraid of? That's the bargument for the day. Now, before I ask you, I want to go to you, Ryder. Who of all the horror film villains you've seen are you the most confident with in a fight?
Okay, well, Brian might jump in and correct me on this one, but I believe George Romero, the great horror movie director, had a thing about skeletons, and he was really pissed off that you wouldn't be able to move if you were a skeleton because you don't have any muscles, you don't have any ligatures or anything like that. Scientifically, it's not possible. So he hated them in movies.
Yeah.
So in that vein, Army of Darkness, the entire army of Deadites is just possessed skeletons.
Okay.
And science is saying, I can take those bad boys down.
Wow. Okay.
You just challenged an army to a fight.
I did just challenge an army to a fight.
Man, really going with that one there. But I like it. I'm digging it. All right.
Yeah,
So
that's where we're starting, a whole army of skeletons.
I don't know if she applies as a horror villain, but I guess she would. But my first thought was, and granted, you don't want to have an injury that cripples you and lays you down in a bed, but Annie from the movie Misery.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a middle-aged woman she's not that spry on her feet. I think you could get the jump on her.
You know what? We're of a similar mind on this because my answer, Jason's mother. Because Jason Voorhees' mother is the killer in the first Friday the 13th, and I feel like I can take Jason's mother.
Okay.
I don't want to fight Jason.
All right.
But Pamela Voorhees, like she's like a 45-year-old mom. It's like, it's like trying to fight a lady at a Target for the last box of Cheerios. I could do that.
Right.
Being a near 45-year-old lady, she's got that mom energy. And have you ever seen a mama bear defend her cubs? You do not mess with the mom energy. So, man, I think Pam Voorhees is way more than, you're biting off way more than you could chew there.
I would cite Pamela Voorhees as maybe not the best defender of her cub, given what happened to Jason at the lake.
Okay, I hear ya.
Betsy Palmer is the woman who played Pamela Voorhees. That's her name. Who and she when you see a picture of her, like, oh, I remember her. I've seen her in a bunch of stuff. But then you go, like, well, not really. I've just seen her in that.
Yeah, and I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, I've just seen it a bunch of times. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Kathy Bates. I'm
just saying. I'm just trying to think of what's an easy win. I don't know what. Well, Chucky. He's just a little doll, isn't he?
Yes.
I mean,
but he's so crafty.
That's true.
And so unsuspecting.
Well, also he's little, so he can hide. You can lose track of him a little bit. I think the other one, I'll take the Saw guy, I think.
Oh,
because unless he's had like 10 years to prepare, it's just an old fella.
He's kind of out of luck.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's very true. Most of the times, I think a lot of these guys, you just. Well, what's the guy you look in the mirror and say his name 3 times? Candyman. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
That's real. Just don't test fate. Don't tempt fate, I should say.
Have you ever done the stand in the mirror and said Candyman or something to that effect 3 times?
Yeah, because I went to see that movie with my wife, and she was freaked out by it, so I went home and immediately did that. She's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. I'm like, it's a movie. Yeah. If I say that 3 times into a mirror in Atlanta, Georgia, and that guy appears, then he should kill me.
Yeah. Also, I would like to meet Tony Todd. He was a fantastic actor, and that could be my opportunity.
So you are a horror film aficionado. What is in your estimation, Brian Miller, the truly scariest? Like what can you say? Like, oh no, that's legit. That gets me.
I think there's 2 kinds of scary, right? There's The Shining, which is like existentially scary.
Sure.
It's not a jump scare movie. It's just like you think about it like for days afterwards.
Yeah.
But from my experience, the first Paranormal Activity and the first Blair Witch as a in-theater experience was incredible.
Blair Witch I can speak to because it really was a different planet we lived on at that time. So they kept it somehow. People, you went in there thinking this might be real. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was presented as this is found footage. There was not like hey, they pretend it's found. The audience, for the most part, walked in thinking, oh my God, this really happened. It was a brilliant, genius, and it was marketed perfectly. They went so far as to, when the film was picked up, I guess it went to like Sundance and it exploded. And the 3 actors, the main actors, they all went into hiding.
Yeah.
Like they disappeared for months until it got big, universal release, so they couldn't promote the film. And I mean, they literally were like, no, there's no actors to promote. This is what it is. It was presented as if it was real, and we all believed it, kind of. Like, even though you kind of knew, no way, but, it was very chilling. When that thing ended, everyone in the theater was exhausted.
Oh, totally. Although, the one thing that they couldn't adjust for is that Heather was the Steak and Shake girl. I remember she was on all the Steak and Shake commercials.
That's right.
She'd flick the plate. It's a workaround. And so the whole time I'm like, no, that's the Steak and Shake girl. I think she's probably okay.
I think the most freaked out I've been walking out of a theater after a movie, and it's not a horror film at all, but it was the same kind of thing. And I'm spacing on the name, but it's the group is out scuba diving and they leave 2 people behind.
Open water.
That
is top 5 scariest for me because I am afraid personally of open water.
Okay.
And I was on a very early date with my wife.
Oh,
and
boy.
we went to see, it was maybe our 3rd, 4th date.
Yeah.
And she was laughing at me because she was like, I've never seen someone that scared in a movie. I was like squirming in my seat.
Man, open water was really, really disturbing.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Having done that myself and been on a dry, I've scuba dived. It's been a long time, but I used to do it every now and again. And you can just imagine it very clearly because most of the guys that are running those things are drunk.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, the guy that taught me how to scuba dive was drunk.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but as soon as I finished and got back alive, I got drunk because I'm like, I can't believe I just did that. And a drunk dude taught me how to do it. Those things happen.
The ocean at night, very scary.
Incredibly scary, to be sure. With my wife and I on Valentine's Day '91 saw opening night Silence of the Lambs. Ooh. And I can tell you this, from the minute Jodie Foster walks into that dude's house and that she sees the moth and then he disappears downstairs, from that moment forward, I've never been in a room where you could feel the electricity and the fear and the nausea in more people in my life.
Sure.
And when he puts on those night vision goggles and she's panicked and looking around, people were, I'm not exaggerating, getting up and leaving the theater.
Wow.
Not like 3, like 7 or 8 different people just walking up the aisles. I can't, I'm out.
I can hear the noise in my head now of the goggles just clicking on.
We were in Chicago. I was on the road. She came out and we had a night off and we went to see it. And I'm telling you, man, when it ended, I was like, everyone's just sweating and freaking out. But watching people leave, like, this has got everybody freaked out. Fantastic.
That's how you can tell mass hysteria is real, because when you're in a room with a lot of other people watching a horror movie, it's much scarier. I got to assume there's like pheromones in the air or something. That you're all picking up on everyone's panic.
On the Luther Westside Volkswagen talking text line, I like this. Kevin just texted in Nicole Kidman and Dead Calm. Did you ever see Dead Calm?
That's a great movie.
Too long didn't read on Dead Calm.
Crazy. What is it?
What? Give me the brief synopsis.
Early Nicole Kidman, when she round-faced, curly-haired Nicole Kidman, 18 or 19 years old. She's on a boat. Speaking of open water, she and her husband,
Sam Neill.
They are. He's an older guy, but they're married, and I won't spoil, but they're having a bad time, so they just say, let's go out and live on our boat for a year and get away from the world.
Okay.
And it's just the 2 of them on a boat until someone else shows up, and it is extraordinary. It's like a little Australian film that did nothing at the box office, and it's great.
It's fantastic.
Totally worth seeing.
Also, the car scene in the middle scene of Hereditary.
They can't even get started.
that like 5 to 10 minutes.
That's
was
true.
As like clenched up as I've ever been in a movie theater.
It just made me clench up when you reminded me of it. That's really, really difficult. Bryan Miller's in studio with us. We're going to be back with headlines in about 5 minutes and 2 songs.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is February the 18th. It's a Wednesday morning. Bryan Miller's hanging out in studio with us. Ryder, I am feeling Minnesota. Let's get to some headlines.
After increasing controversy, the Eagan City Council passed a 1-year ban on the development of data centers and cryptocurrency operations so it can further study their impacts. This ban is the first in the state of Minnesota, so we're talking no building permits will be issued for construction, alteration, or expansion of any data center structure within 500 feet of a residential zone or that uses more than 20 megawatts of electricity. I think data centers that are like a couple of office floor levels, you're using about 10 megawatts of electricity, and these giant ones are using upwards of like 500 to 700.
And all of the water usage. These data centers use incredible amounts of fresh water, and they give nothing back to the communities other than low frequency hums.
I was going to say the
keep
noise.
People awake at night, and they ruin your water supply. So Egan, good decision. Now make it permanent.
Yeah, well,
the ban, that is. Yeah. These things are bad news, man.
That mayor that like quit in Farmington, it was because he was getting so much backlash over just people wanted to make comments on it at the city council meeting.
Yeah, these things are not good for anybody.
No, it's the worst.
Except the billionaires that already have all the money.
Yeah, put them on Silicon Valley. Let's put all the data centers there next to their houses.
Please.
Yes, and then California can just fall into the ocean.
That's right.
YouTube suffered a global outage yesterday around 7 p.m. local time. The company posted the outage was caused by an issue with the recommendations algorithmic system preventing videos from appearing across all surfaces. So no, it wasn't just your TV. YouTube was out for the entire world.
Okay. Good to know. I always assume it's just me.
Having worked in a call center for a cable company, people do always assume it's just their individual problem.
Of course.
Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea will release his debut solo album next month, and he's going back to his brass roots. The album will feature some bass, but a lot of his first ever instrument, that would be trumpet. Way more mellow than I had expected.
Way mellow, yeah. Even Flea needs to take a nap occasionally. I have several Flea stories, but my favorite is 1993. My band's in LA. We're doing pre-production for a record. We're at this place in the Valley, just a rehearsal facility, just writing songs. And the Chili Peppers were in there at the same time working on the follow-up to Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. And we would see them in the parking lot. All nice guys. Great. Flea rolled up one day in a four-door Mercedes sedan, like a brand new, awesome car. Okay. And I'm like, holy smokes, man, that record sold a lot of copies. And it was a black car, and there was a white, someone had taken spray paint and just all the doors, the hood, the trunk, just done like a loop around the car.
Oh, no, poor Flea.
And I was like, dude, what happened? He goes, oh, I did that.
What?
And I go, because? He goes, well, no one will mess with it now. I was like, you're exactly right. He goes, I mean, a car like that, I just figured someone's going to break into it, but now they just figure it's already been messed up. So I was like, that's kind of genius, Flea. Well done.
Yeah.
Also, I like to imagine while he's playing that soothing trumpet solo, he's just wearing the sock.
Of course he is. Sure he
Chili
is.
Peppers do.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to listen to that thing differently. Hey, they're leveling up their ingredients here. Papa John's Pizza will make a run at a Michelin star. They launched a new recipe featuring a 6-cheese blend and garlic parmesan crust. They're transforming their Manhattan location into an intimate, reservations-only restaurant.
Okay.
With a 3-course meal. This sucker starts tomorrow. Any chance that they actually get a Michelin star?
I've had many a Papa John's. My kids love the dipping sauce, the whole bit. Like as a family man, very happy to have enjoyed Papa John's in the past. Michelin star feels like a bit of a reach. I'm just gonna say
it's a stretch.
Last I checked, you gotta have like. Way more than just a garlic butter sauce. There needs to be you have to have words like béarnaise involved, I think.
Yeah.
What if I told you they were going to have a soda sommelier to help you pair your pizza properly?
Well, now that changes everything.
Yes.
They should call the fancy restaurant Father Jonathan's. It's got more of a classy kind of vibe, know?
Yes.
That's good. All right.
Oh, boy.
It's just, baby steps. They'll figure it all out.
I bet they will.
Let's talk about the Winter Olympics as they roll along today. Michaela Schifrin is your winningest alpine skier ever, and she did take the gold this morning yet again.
There we go.
Boy. Is that kid? She's only 30, and I feel like she's been around forever. Just dominant performance. The U.S. men's hockey team plays Sweden at 2:10 p.m. today in a quarterfinal. Women's curling, I hate to say it, we got beat by Great Britain.
Oh, no.
How do the British know about curling?
They probably have a dumb name for it. It's different.
You know what? I bet they do.
I won the sweeps.
Yeah.
I did the sweeping and I won.
That's it. No, we took down the Yanks and sweeps, didn't we? It was the greatest day in the history of sport, isn't it? Minnesota Twins, bad news out of camp. Pablo Lopez did not make it through day one of the full squad workouts before he blew a ligament in his right elbow. He will be going in for his second Tommy John surgery in his career. The man started our last 3 opening days. Not this time. Tough way to start the season. The Timberwolves are in business Friday night again after the All-Star break down in Dallas. Right now, if it's okay with you, I'd just like to say a quick shout-out to our friends, right over there in New Brighton.
Hell yeah, New Brighton.
Right up the way, New Brighton. You like New Brighton?
My in-laws live in New Brighton. It's a delightful time. I spend every Christmas there.
Oh, fair enough. All right. Well, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations are supposed to come out like any minute this week at some point. Okay. I'm still waiting to see STP up there. I mean, they certainly deserve a nomination, if nothing else.
Yeah.
One of those, their first 4 records are fantastic.
Oh, I mean, the amount they were played on the radio from like 95 to 2000.
Nonstop.
I mean, they were one of the most prolific bands on the radio.
I agree. I think it's time for STP and Alice in Chains. Still waiting.
Oh, God. That Unplugged album is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Incredible. That's the last of the Seattle Big Four. You know, like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana are in. And I don't think Alice in Chains has even been nominated yet, which seems like an oversight. So we'll find out any minute. Bryan Miller's in studio. You are heading to New Orleans soon.
Yes, March the 7th.
And
I'm actually going to New Orleans twice next month, which is pretty cool.
Nice. What's going on?
So I'm working in New Orleans. The 7th, I'm opening for my pal Ismo. If you've ever seen Ismo, the Finnish comedian, he's great. Mm-hmm. We're doing Howlin' Wolf in New Orleans, and then we're doing the Buckhead Theater in Atlanta the next day.
Been there many times.
I'm definitely trying to get the tour manager to fly us in a day early because we need to go to New Orleans a day early to prepare.
Of course you do.
Yes, definitely not so I can eat 5 bowls of gumbo. Of course.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. New Orleans, the city that Ozempic was invented for.
Oh my gosh,
man!
Yeah.
I've just hurt myself so many times there, and everybody always says, "Oh, you're from the drink." It's like, no. Of course you're going to drink wherever you go if you drink, but the feed bag that I strap on every time in New Orleans, it's astonishing.
I almost didn't eat the last time I came back. I didn't eat for like the next day because I had just eaten so much gumbo and etouffee that I was all good. My body was good for probably a week.
Oh yeah, no, it all works. And so but you're going twice.
Yeah, so I'm going for work, and then I'm just going to just to hang out.
Nice.
I love to go to the Spotted Cat. There's a lot of great jazz. I love New Orleans jazz music.
Yeah. We were talking about Mardi Gras yesterday. Never been and don't have any intention of going. It just seems like it's too much for me. You just made the point. New Orleans on a Wednesday in May is just fine.
Yeah.
There's always so much happening.
Yeah, even on like a Sunday night, which you'd think would be off night, it's like, this bar is still 3/4 full and everything's really fun.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know that I need more tourists.
Yeah.
There's already so many, and I'm a tourist, But
that's very true. No, it's a great time. My brother, I think, he's been to Mardi Gras so many times, and with the same group of friends. It started in college for him back, in the late 70s, and they've been back, 30, 35. I don't know how many times they've been. It's a million, and I look at those pictures every time, and I just think, I have so much fun when I'm there. Just like you said, on just another day, Mardi Gras with that many people, that drunk, all in costumes. It's just not my vibe.
Also, it's hard enough to get a Commander's Palace reservation anyway, much less. I can't even imagine you can't get into Mardi Gras.
That's it. Bryan, good to see you, brother, as always.
Yep. Thanks for having me. Always good to be here.
That chair doesn't go anywhere. Come back anytime.
I'll do it.
Here's today's last word. Right. I normally wait till Friday for Mark Twain, but it was on this day, February 18th, 1885, that Mark Twain published the famously controversial The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn for the first time.
Yes.
And if you've never read that and want to get your hair blown back,
oh boy,
open it up, crack it. Why don't you? So we'll give you an extra Twain quote for the day for the last word.
Okay.
Politicians and diapers must be changed often and for the exact same reason.
Oh, one of my favorites.
That's as good as it gets. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to be giving away more Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band tickets.
These are hot.
Twin City Civil War just after 8 a.m. You're going to want to win some tickets. You're going to want to be listening. Stephen Hyden's going to join us again, as will Rudy Pavich. Our old buddy Rudy's back in town. Mm-hmm. He's at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy at the Mall of America tomorrow night. Up next on this station, always puts a smile on my face to say, Lisa Miller. Going to be with you. So keep it right here on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.